The night before the wedding, my cousin Brenda suddenly asked for 3 strands of my hair. It was a weird request. She said it was for good luck, to pray for blessings, but she used those 3 strands of my hair to swap her bad luck for my good fortune. It bankrupted me. Meanwhile, she got prettier and prettier, landed a high-paying job at a major company, and even won $10 million from a lottery ticket she bought on a whim. I was hit by so much bad luck that I was a wreck. On my way to work, I got pulled under a large truck and died on the spot. It was all because of those 3 strands of hair. It was a dark magic ritual Brenda learned from some master to steal my fate. When I woke up again, I was back on the day Brenda asked for my hair. Lily, can you pull out 3 strands of your hair for me? I want to take both our hair to the temple in Putuwa to pray for good luck for us. Oh, and it definitely has to be yours. That familiar voice echoed in my ears, forcing me to believe it. I was really reborn. Seeing the small yellow paper packet she held out, I instinctively took a couple of steps back. In my past life, my cousin Brenda used this exact yellow paper packet to take my 3 strands of hair. It not only made me lose everything but also led to my tragic death. Seeing me hesitate to take the packet, a flicker of suspicion crossed Brenda's face. But it quickly vanished, replaced by a tearful, accusatory tone. Lily, do you look down on me or something? Thinking I'm so grown up yet still believe in this superstitious stuff? Her eyes were red, tears welling up, ready to fall. Mark, who was sitting beside her, felt his heart ache for her. He immediately stood up, took the small yellow paper packet, and pushed it into my hand. Brenda, don't cry. How could Lily look down on you? You're her cousin. Humph, all she ever thinks about is work, work, work. She's always slow on the uptake. He even shot me a sideways glance as he spoke. Brenda quickly chimed in, no, it's not that. I'm just a little envious of Lily. She's smart and her career is going so well. I know this is superstitious, but I mean well. I just want things to be even better. Lily, don't worry, it definitely won't harm you. That Master Chin is really amazing. Many people who've had blessings done say it works wonders. I looked coldly at the 2 of them, this shameless pair, chattering away. Rage boiled inside me. But I kept a smile on my face. How could I? You're my own cousin. Wouldn't I trust you? It's just 3 strands of hair. Hold on, I'll go look in the mirror and pick out the very best ones for you. My cooperative attitude seemed to satisfy them both. Before I even closed the bathroom door, the 2 of them were already clinging to each other behind me. I fought back the urge to vomit, switched my phone to video recording mode, and started gathering evidence. In my previous life, I had always taken good care of Brenda, my cousin. Her family wasn't well off, so whether it was food, drinks, or clothes, I always made sure to get her a share. Brenda had been working as an assistant in a small factory. Later, she said she had a chance to take an entrance exam for a major company. So before the exam, Brenda suggested taking my hair along with hers to pray for good luck. I didn't suspect a thing. I gave her the hair without a second thought. But within a couple of days, I sensed something was wrong. Work projects that were practically in the bag started hitting snags over minor details, creating countless messes. My usually peaceful and harmonious home life also became plagued by misfortune. Either the house had a water leak, or my dad had a car accident and ended up in the ICU. The repair costs for the leak, both upstairs and downstairs, were exorbitant. The ICU bills were no small sum either. Soon, all our family savings were gone. During that time, all the stressful events left me mentally exhausted and completely drained. It wasn't until my fiancé, who had been out of touch for a long time, called me. After listening to my tearful complaints, he immediately said I must have offended some petty person, and suggested I go to the Putuwa temple to ask a master for a luck-turning ritual. Tears streamed down my face, but in my heart, I agreed with Mark's suggestion. We arranged to go to the temple to offer incense the next day. But when I arrived at the temple entrance the next day, I saw Brenda, looking much more beautiful in designer clothes. She was clinging to Mark like a doting wife, as if they were the real couple. Cousin, look at you. What happened? Even if you're busy with work, a woman needs to take care of herself. I fidgeted with the hem of my clothes and opened my mouth, but I didn't know what to say. Just then, an expensive luxury car pulled up beside me. My uncle, Brenda's father, dressed in an expensive suit, got out of the driver's seat and greeted me with a smile. I was completely shocked. Uncle, for the past 20+ years, my uncle's family had been dirt poor. Forget suits and luxury cars, they barely had enough to eat. Brenda, however, looked smug. My dad, well, he went with me to see Master Chen to change his luck. And look, the very next day he bought a lottery ticket on a whim and won the jackpot. Haha. Today my dad is here at the Putua temple to donate money and give thanks. Cousin, I've already made an appointment with Master Chen for you. This time, we'll really turn your luck around. With that, she half dragged me into a private room. Following the master's instructions, I not only wrote down my birth date and time on yellow paper, but also gave a drop of blood from between my eyebrows for a full luck-turning ceremony. But when I went back, instead of getting better, I became even more sluggish. Then one morning as I was rushing to work, I was pulled under a large truck and died instantly. And that scumbag and bitch shed a few crocodile tears, and then went ahead with the wedding that was originally supposed to be mine. Lily, are you done yet? Brenda's deliberately cutesy, high-pitched voice, sickeningly sweet, rang out. I quickly replied, just a sec, I'm picking out the 3 best strands. You and Mark just sit tight for a bit. As soon as I said that, I saw the 2 of them on my phone screen, tightly embracing, kissing and cuddling. The occasional sticky, wet sounds and soft moans drifted in. I pretended I couldn't hear a thing. While no one outside was paying attention, I quickly scanned the area. Sure enough, in the corner of a cabinet, I found a clump of gray fur. Just as I picked up the fur, intending to put it in the yellow paper packet, someone banged violently on the bathroom door. Lily, what are you doing in there? Not done yet. Hurry up. The factory just called Brenda and told her to get back to work quickly. Even though Mark's tone was urgent, I could still detect a hint of regret in his voice. Okay, I'm putting it in now. You go start the car. You can drop my cousin off at the factory first. At this, Mark stopped rushing me. After a moment of silence, he finally spoke, somewhat awkwardly. Lily, isn't that a bit inappropriate? What if Brenda's colleagues misunderstand? I pretended to be very agitated and yelled. What's there to misunderstand? My cousin is your cousin, isn't she? I'd like to see who dares to gossip. Hearing this, Mark didn't hesitate any longer, and happily went out to start the car. In that brief moment, I deftly stuffed the mouse fur into the yellow paper packet, sealed it, and handed it to Brenda. Watching her wave goodbye excitedly as she left, I stood by the window, expressionlessly observing the 2 of them kissing passionately downstairs. My heart was calm. I clearly remembered that in my past life, on this very day, Mark dropped Brenda off and then ghosted me. He figured since he already had my hair, there was no need to keep up the act. To prevent them from noticing anything unusual, I followed the script from my previous life, acting dazed and irrational every day. I also secretly hired workers to check and repair the waterproofing in our house ahead of time. Furthermore, I hired a driver and a caregiver for my parents to avoid the tragedies of my past life. For this, my parents called and scolded me quite a bit. I could only offer vague excuses. It's nothing, I just got scared watching some videos online these past few days. As long as you 2 are well, I can focus on my work and career. After reassuring my parents, I poured all my energy into my work. I focused even more intensely than before and finally managed to complete the tasks at hand, successfully navigating past the day of the accident from my previous life. Everything was calm and peaceful. Only then did I truly let go of my anxiety. In the following days, I went to work as usual and continued to feign confusion and erratic behavior at home. Until one day, Mark accidentally sent me a message. I knew it was time for a showdown. Doctor, could you please take a look? My wife has been experiencing excessive hair growth lately. Her whole face is now covered in fine gray fuzz. Is this some kind of skin condition? Below the message was a full face photo of Brenda. Even though Mark deleted it in a flash, I saw it clearly. And I saved the photo. That gray fuzz. Wasn't it mouse fur? Looking at Brenda's distressed expression in the photo, I almost burst out laughing. I contacted the private investigator I had hired earlier and asked them to look into my uncle's movements. The private investigator responded quickly. From the information she sent, I learned that my uncle had been in a car accident on his way home from work on Monday evening. He was currently hospitalized. Without any hesitation, I grabbed a fruit basket and headed straight to the hospital room. Brenda was wearing a baseball cap and a face mask. When she saw me, her jaw nearly hit the floor. "Lily, what are you doing here?" Seeing Brenda's somewhat evasive demeanor, I didn't press her further. Instead, I walked past her to her father's bedside. "Uncle, I heard you were in an accident. Why didn't you tell us? Here, let me see where you're hurt." As I spoke, I yanked back the blanket. I discovered that not only was my uncle missing his right leg, but the expression on his face was also strange. He looked up at me, his mouth twisted, eyes askew, and saliva constantly drooled from the corner of his lips, soaking a large area. A foul odor instantly filled the room. Seeing that I had discovered her father's true condition, Brenda looked somewhat embarrassed. She kept trying to explain, "It's my dad. He was hit by a car on Monday after work. We just couldn't afford the treatment, so we had to choose amputation to save his life. During the treatment, they found a cerebral hemorrhage. He's had a stroke and is paralyzed now. Nothing else. He just needs a lot of rest." As soon as she finished speaking, it was as if she suddenly remembered something. She immediately rushed forward and grabbed my hand. "Lily, are your uncle and aunt okay? Are they feeling unwell anywhere?" Brenda's voice was urgent, her eyes filled with eager anticipation. I couldn't help but sneer inwardly, but I still played along. "Well, my dad isn't feeling too well either. He's been complaining of dizziness for the past 2 days. Sigh." At these words, Brenda's hand immediately relaxed. She seemed to let out a sigh of relief, muttering to herself, "Oh, that's good, that's good." Brenda busied herself taking care of her father, while I stood aside, observing her closely. It had only been a few days since I last saw her, but today's Brenda was completely transformed. Although she kept her mask on, the dense, fine gray fuzz on her cheeks was already starting to show. Her nose and mouth also seemed more prominent, giving her a rather shifty, rodent-like appearance. Perhaps my gaze was too intense. Brenda quickly noticed something was off and hurriedly adjusted her hat and mask. "What are you looking at?" I smiled faintly, then praised her loudly. "Cousin, did you get some work done on your face? I feel like your face is smaller, and your nose bridge is higher." Hearing my praise, Brenda couldn't help but grin from ear to ear. But as her eyes swept over me, her smile quickly faded. "How come you don't seem to have changed at all?" I quickly changed the subject. "Cousin, did you use the hair from last time to pray for luck? I've been feeling pretty good lately. Is it starting to work?" Brenda looked puzzled, but she still forced herself to play along. "Really? Is that so? I haven't felt anything yet." Seeing Brenda's somewhat strained smile, I couldn't help but let the corners of my mouth curve upwards. "Oh right. I was a bit careless. I think I might have mixed up some mouse fur with my hair. It's all my fault for being so clumsy. Sigh, now that I see you're okay, cousin, I can rest easy." At these words, Brenda's whole body trembled. Realizing what I meant, she screamed at me, "What? What did you say? You gave me mouse fur? Are you crazy?" Brenda lunged at me, her expression dunging as she grabbed my neck. Her face was very close, and I could see the dense gray hairs on her face and her eyes, which were starting to look deformed. You dare to trick me? Are you trying to die? No. You can't. You have to pluck 3 strands of your hair for me right now with your own hands. Quick." I struggled desperately, trying to break free from Brenda's grip. But after much effort, I only felt my clothes tightening around me. Just as I was about to suffocate, the hospital room door was kicked open. "Brenda, what on earth are you doing? Are you insane?" Mark rushed in and pulled Brenda's arm away. Due to the momentum, I fell to the ground. Looking up, I saw Brenda's face contorted with rage. A wave of satisfaction washed over me, and I even wanted to laugh out loud, but I couldn't. After finally catching my breath, I burst into tears, using the most pitiful tone I could muster. "Cousin, I really didn't mean to. Are you really going to kill me over such a small thing? Besides, it's just for praying for luck. If it didn't work this time, we can just ask the master again next time. What's more, praying for luck? I'm a rational person. I don't believe in all this superstitious stuff. Mark was completely bewildered and looked at me with confusion. How could that be? I clearly saw you pull hair from your head back then. I pouted, feigning grievance. But that day, I saw a clump of mouse fur in the corner of the cabinet. I was going to clean it up and throw it away, but then you rushed me, and I got them mixed up. Now Brenda finally understood the reason for her recent strange symptoms. Her face turned purple with rage, and her whole body trembled. She hissed through clenched teeth, "How could you? How could you put mouse fur in the charm packet? Don't you know you're going to kill me with this? I don't care. You have to pull out 3 strands of your hair right now, in front of me, and put them in." I wailed, refusing to comply. Sobi, cousin, I really didn't know. It's just a prayer for luck, for peace of mind. How could it possibly harm you? Is there something wrong with this blessing? Before I finished speaking, I turned my tear-filled eyes to Mark. Mark, cousin, what does she mean? Do you know? Only then did Mark realize he was still holding Brenda. He quickly let go, then awkwardly explained, No. I just came in and saw what was happening. I got too anxious. I was just afraid she would hurt you. Heh, what an idiot. One lie exposed countless bugs. I really don't know if in my past life I trusted him too much, or if I was just too stupid to believe such a clumsy explanation. Seeing I didn't respond, Mark continued to persuade me, Lily, no matter what, Brenda is still your cousin. What you did really hurt her feelings. How about this? I'll be the peacemaker. You give Brenda 3 strands of your hair now, and we'll call it even. Don't let this affect your sisterly bond. With Mark backing her up, Brenda became bolder. That's right. Lily, I was just angry that you didn't take me seriously. Okay, I'll give Mark some face. As long as you give me 3 strands of hair now, we'll let this go. Looking at this shameless pair, acting all righteous, I found it laughable. Are they treating me like a fool? Suddenly, the uncle in the hospital bed started coughing violently. It got worse and worse, until it turned into bouts of dry heaving. Brenda immediately got up and handed him a glass of water. Before he could recover, after a fit of heart-wrenching coughs, the uncle vomited a large pool of blood with a wah sound. Everyone panicked. Brenda frantically tried to run out and call a doctor. But before she could even leave the room, her father fell to the floor with a thud and lost consciousness. Her cousin screamed and threw herself on him. Mark, as if he had forgotten I even existed, rushed forward to hold her, whispering words of comfort. Okay. Taking advantage of the chaos in the room, I turned and left. When I got home, I first took a hot shower. Then, I dialed a landline number I had saved on my phone. It was the contact information for a mysterious mother-in-law, a spiritualist from my hometown, which my grandmother had given me. I told a mysterious mother-in-law everything that had happened recently, in detail. To my surprise, the person on the other end of the line chuckled. That's no master. That's just some unscrupulous charlatan using shady practices to swindle money and harm people. Just a few cheap tricks, nothing to be afraid of. You just wait. Before I could react, a mysterious mother-in-law hung up. I couldn't help but feel a bit skeptical, but then I remembered a mysterious mother-in-law's good reputation in all the local villages back home. I decided to trust her this time. After all, from what my grandmother had told me, her past successes were indeed quite remarkable. After the call, I quickly packed a few clothes, grabbed my suitcase, and checked into a hotel near my company. I just wanted some peace and quiet, but unexpectedly, I received a call from the hospital that very night. Hello, are you a relative of Brenda Sue and her father? Their condition is very critical. Please come to the hospital immediately. After hanging up, I thought for a long time before finally getting dressed and heading out. When I arrived at the hospital, it was already in chaos. Brenda's face was pale, and she was covered in sweat. It hurts, my stomach hurts so much. Doctor, I'm in so much pain. Her abdomen was irregularly swollen, and upon closer inspection, there seemed to be slight movement. An examination revealed a litter of baby mice nesting in Brenda's uterus. Before the doctors could perform surgery, Brenda, as if in labor, gave birth to a litter of pink, blind baby mice. All the medical staff were stunned, and Mark, who had been standing by, trying to be invisible, rushed away in a panic after seeing this. Meanwhile, her father's condition also worsened that night. Already struggling with movement due to his stroke, he became unusually active that night, cowering in a corner, timid and skittish, like a wretched mouse that prefers the dark. I suddenly thought of my father's situation in my past life. Perhaps they had swapped fates with the mice because of those 3 strands of mouse fur. But now it had nothing to do with me. I called my aunt, who was working out of town, and after she arrived at the hospital, I went back to the hotel to rest. After blocking Mark and Brenda, I had a very peaceful period. But Mark's shamelessness still managed to shock me. In my past life, it wasn't until after I died that I saw Mark, this freeloader, for who he truly was. He pursued me initially only because I was the only daughter in my family, thinking he could control my family's assets after marrying me. After we got together, he found out I wasn't the traditional type of woman he had in mind, so he colluded with Brenda. But now, Brenda's family was a complete mess, so naturally, he turned his attention back to me. I chose to ignore Mark's relentless harassment. But he had become so desperate to be a kept man that he resorted to anything. One day, when I arrived at the company, I noticed my colleagues looking at me strangely. It wasn't until a colleague sent me a live stream link that I understood what was happening. On my phone, Mark's greasy face filled the screen. He was crying his eyes out, snot and tears everywhere, even blowing snot bubbles occasionally. Lily, I know you're watching. Please give me another chance, okay? I know you look down on me because my family is poor and my salary is low, but I love you. I'll work hard and give you the life you want. I swear, when I get my year-end bonus, I'll buy you that bag you like, okay? Many netizens in the live comments were fooled by Mark's acting. They fun Liu Yan, OMG, the girl is in the chat. Look at this man. He's practically willing to die for you. How can you be so heartless? This woman is just a gold digger, right? Seeing her boyfriend isn't rich enough to satisfy her materialism, so she wants to break up. She's a disgrace to women. What era are we living in? Men and women are equal, okay? Hey handsome, look at me. I don't need you to be rich, just be good to me. The live comments flooded the screen, every single one attacking me. The popularity soared, and the number of viewers in the live stream quickly reached 100,000. I watched carefully for a long time before finally understanding the whole story. It turned out that after Mark, the scumbag, tried various ways to contact me and failed, he started a live stream to play the victim. He portrayed himself as a poor, powerless, hopeless romantic. He claimed he had spent all his savings on me, his girlfriend, and was dumped because he couldn't satisfy her shopping desires. Lily, please, I really miss you. I'll agree to anything you ask. Please don't break up with me, okay? Mark's tearful plea was pitiful, and the righteous netizens managed to dig up my information from some clues. Many were clamoring to teach me a lesson. Resisting the urge to roll my eyes, I asked my manager for leave. I randomly found a hotel, started my own live stream, and directly went live with Mark for a PK battle. The moment Mark saw me on the other side, he put on a deeply affectionate expression. Lily, have you forgiven me? Can we be okay again? Let's get married. Although he spoke with great sincerity, I could see the calculation and smugness hidden deep in his eyes. Ignoring him, I directly posted the records of all our shared expenses throughout our relationship. Finally, I also played the video I had saved of Mark and Brenda secretly hooking up behind my back. This completely blew up the internet. OMG, for real? Damn, this guy is so shameless. And he had the nerve to call his girlfriend a gold digger? He's the real scumbag. That manipulative scumbag actually tricked me. Soon, the comment section erupted into a firestorm. But this time, the anger was directed at Mark. Mark stammered, trying to explain, but couldn't utter a sound for a long time. Looking at the hateful glare from the other side, I gave him a huge eye roll. Then, without a word, I ended the live stream. But after calming down, I picked up my phone again and dialed that familiar number. Mark. I was just too angry earlier. That's why I was just jealous. Jealous of why you had to be with my cousin. As long as you're willing to make a clean break with Brenda, I'll pretend none of this ever happened, okay? Mark's heavy breathing, which had been audible, immediately quieted down after hearing my words. He responded fawningly, "Don't worry, Lily. You know me, right? We've been together for so many years. You know I only love you. What does that Brenda even matter? Don't worry, I'll never see her again. From now on, it's just us. I fought back the nausea rising in my stomach and managed to say a few sweet nothings in a normal tone before making an excuse to hang up. After all, having been with Mark for so long, he knew my life and work. If I pushed him too far, and he really decided to go scorched earth, it would backfire on me. The next day, I went to Mark's rental apartment. Under the pretext of a date, I gave him the good luck charm a mysterious mother-in-law had sent me. I went to get this specially for you. If you love me, you have to wear it every day. Mark grinned widely, put it around his neck, and didn't forget to take a picture and post it on his social media. My love got me this special good luck charm. Love you. I looked at my phone with satisfaction and couldn't help but smile. A few days later, Brenda showed up at my door. It had only been a few months since our last meeting, but today's Brenda was completely changed. Her once swollen belly was now flat, replaced by sagging folds of flesh. She looked much older, and her once dark, shiny hair was now streaked with many white strands. She hardly looked like a woman in her 20s. She could have passed for an old woman. This must be the consequence of the backlash from that so-called fate-swapping dark magic. I tried to walk past her and leave, but she grabbed my arm, blocking me. When she saw that I was completely unaffected, even more radiant than before, she broke down and screamed at me. Lily, what did you do? Why have I become like this? I know. You're jealous of me, aren't you? You're jealous that I have Mark's love. At this point, I didn't even want to play along with her anymore. Brenda, can you have some decency? You're the other woman, and you're proud of it? Stealing your own cousin's boyfriend? Do you have any sense of shame left? What? You don't think I know you were trying to harm me? Brenda's face flushed red, and her dark-rimmed eyes bulged slightly, looking quite terrifying. What do you mean? If you knew all along, why did you pretend and deceive me? I couldn't help but laugh, my tone sarcastic. What do you think? Naturally, it was so you'd get what you deserve. Look at you now. Isn't this your retribution? With that, Brenda's taut nerves finally snapped. She roared and lunged at me. Bitch. I'm going to kill you. But with her current unsteady body, how could she possibly match me? Before she could get close, I quickly dodged to the side and grabbed her hands from behind. Even though I had her temporarily subdued, Brenda continued to struggle. Just as I was wondering what to do with her, a male voice suddenly yelled from a distance. Bitch. What are you doing, bothering Lily again? Mark ran over, out of breath, and delivered a flying kick that sent Brenda sprawling. She collapsed on the ground, looking at the newcomer in disbelief. Mark. What are you doing? It's me, Brenda. Didn't you say you loved me the most? Mark glanced at her dismissively, and then spat on the ground. What nonsense are you talking about? Take a look at yourself, you pathetic mess. Me love you the most? In your current state, who would dare to love you? Besides, it was you bitch, who tricked me before. You even said you'd give me an apartment in the city. Otherwise, why would I have betrayed Lily? Hey, I checked. Your family is dirt poor. So shameless. Brenda's eyes widened, and she gasped for air, enraged by Mark. Her face turned purple. You heartless scumbag. A trickle of blood slid from the corner of her mouth, but she paid it no mind. Instead, she collapsed on the ground and threw her head back, laughing hysterically. Ha 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 ha. Lily, you won. You really won. But you also lost. Did you know? Your fiancé once held me and made love to me in your bed. He even said you were like a dead fish with no passion. That looking at you killed his mood. And Mark, you bastard. Do you think you can just use me and then kick me to the curb and everything will be fine? Let me tell you, no way. If I'm not happy, I'll make sure you're not happy either. Brenda's words hit Mark's sore spot. He strode over in a rage and started punching and kicking Brenda. While hitting her, he kept cursing, bitch. You damn homewrecker. You're the bitch. You're deliberately talking nonsense in front of Lily, aren't you? Do you think if Lily's gone, I'll accept you? Let me tell you, no way. Perhaps Brenda had already despaired. Faced with Mark's violent assault and curses, she didn't care at all. Instead, she laughed maniacally. In the next second, Brenda lunged back, pinning Mark down. She pulled a paring knife from her pocket and stabbed him in the stomach. Soon, a large pool of blood spread on the ground. Onlookers gasped in horror. But when Brenda saw the blood, instead of being scared, she bent down and started to gnaw at the wound. It was only then that I clearly saw Brenda's teeth had also changed. Her two long front teeth glinted sharply, like rodent incisors. Seeing Mark had lost consciousness, I took advantage of the chaos, when no one was paying attention, turned, and left. Actually, I had anticipated Mark's fate. After all, what I had given him wasn't some ordinary good luck charm. I had originally wanted to watch Mark dig his own grave. Perhaps it was fate, or even heaven couldn't stand such a wicked person anymore, and decided to remove this menace prematurely. After the project I was working on concluded, I also successfully seized a promotion opportunity. I took an early annual leave, planning to go back and see my parents. As I walked into our residential complex, I saw a group of neighbors gathered around. And standing in the middle was my aunt, Brenda's mother, looking distressed and complaining to everyone. "Sigh, our family has had such a string of bad luck this year. Our Brenda, she finally got a chance to get into a big company. And now she's gone completely crazy. Forget about the exam, I'll have to support her for the rest of her life. And my old man, he got into a car accident out of nowhere. The hit-and-run driver fled, and they still haven't found him. He had just stabilized, but a couple of days ago, his condition worsened. And just like that, he's gone. I'm so tired taking care of the old and the young. How am I supposed to live on my meager salary from odd jobs?" I hid in the crowd and heard everything. My aunt's words seemed to elicit sympathy, but wasn't all of this the result of Brenda's own greed? After that, Mark and Brenda seemed to vanish from my world, leaving no trace. One day, on my way home from work, I passed by a lottery ticket vendor near the company. I don't know why, but I, who had never been interested in such things, stopped. Remembering the multi-million-dollar jackpot my uncle had won in my past life, I decisively walked into the store and bought a ticket. To my surprise, that lottery ticket actually won a multi-million-dollar jackpot. After claiming the prize money, I still felt a bit unreal. I immediately called a mysterious mother-in-law, intending to offer her some thanks. But a mysterious mother-in-law declined, simply telling me, "These things originally belonged to you. Even if they were temporarily snatched away, they would return to you in various ways." The end.